What's up, everybody? Thanks as always for supporting the show. It would mean a lot to me if you would take a second to scroll down and hit that subscribe button to the Hoops Tonight YouTube channel, and then follow me on social media on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter so you guys don't miss any of our content over the course of this season. All right, let's talk some basketball. All right, we're going to start with a wedge screen so that Luka can attack out of the post. So a wedge screen is typically a screen where you start on one side of the floor and you get a screen from one of your teammates to then cut over to the block. And the purpose it typically serves is either to get a switch, but more frequently a wedge screen is used for post position. So if Luka comes down this side of the floor and he tries to back his way down, he's going to have to fight for position to try to get down to a position closer to the block, right? A wedge screen, by virtue of Luka coming off, if they don't switch, then that guy's going to be in trail position. If he's in trail position, then Luka can get easier post position here on the block. That's why they use wedge screens. The Nuggets use them a lot. A lot of teams around the league use these wedge screens to get their post players into better position. But the Clippers are going to switch it. So here's the wedge screen. PJ Washington back screens on Kawhi. James Harden is there. They just switch it, okay? So now Luka is going to attack James Harden out of the post. Now we're going to get a double team from Russell Westbrook. On the double team, we're going to get a windshield wiper rotation from Kawhi. Kawhi is going to take Kyrie. So now we have a 3-on-2 here on the backside, right? This is going to generate a closeout opportunity for PJ Washington. It's just way easier to score when you have a defender closing out at you. He pass fakes, jab steps, is able to get an angle. Nice patience to wait for Kawhi to come down before he goes up and finishes. But once again, the action that generates the mismatch, that generates the double team, that generates the advantage situation. Now, this very next possession here, you're going to see one of the reasons why this lineup works. And again, this is my favorite Mavericks lineup. It's Kyrie and Luka, Maxi Kleber, PJ Washington, and Derrick Jones Jr. In order for this to work, it requires Maxi to be able to hold up against Zubac in terms of size. Here, they're going to actually run through Zubac in the post. Zubats, I should say. I'm trying to learn how to pronounce these guys better. So Kleber is going to actually fight Zubats into a really tough left shoulder hook and actually forces him to leave it short. Again, notice he's attacking the base. He's trying to slide up underneath him and disrupt his base, forces him to come sweeping across the lane and forces a miss. So again, they get an offensive rebound out of that, but I just wanted to show that play because I thought it was a strong indicator of the specific matchup problem that Zubats presents and how important it is for Kleber to be able to hold up in that matchup. Now we're going to get the exact same wedge screen, right? So here we are, Luka, Kawhi, PJ Washington sets the wedge screen. We get the switch. We're going back to the block. This time they don't double because last time they doubled, they got in rotation and gave up a bucket. And Luka, you just can't leave him on an island with James Harden. He ends up drawing a foul, gets hit on the forearm as he's going up. Now he's going to the foul line. On the other end of the floor, one of the big stories of this game, like we talked about last night, was Luka holding up against the Clipper stars on an island. Here we're going to get a basic just brush screen from James Harden to get Kawhi switched onto Luka. Look at Luka sliding his feet and cutting off the driving lanes. He actually pokes the ball away. In the chaos, the Mavericks end up getting a steal. Now we're going to go down the other way off the turnover. And this is just really simple, easy basketball. Paul George has Luka in a cross match. We're going to get a screen from Derrick Jones Jr. That's going to lead to a switch with Powell. Now, Clippers don't like this matchup, so they're going to come with a double team. Here comes Kawhi. Double team. Kleber's there. We're going to get a closeout from Paul George. Extra pass. PJ Washington, wide open corner three. Knocks it down. Again, the Mavs desperately needed somebody to hit some shots down the stretch. PJ Washington and Maxi Kleber both came up huge in this game. All right, so on this particular play, this is a transition situation where Luka uses a head of steam to get Kawhi on his heels, okay? So mid shot, Luka's coming up the floor. Now, Luka smells blood in the water at this point, right? Mavs are on a run. I think they were down 73-67, right? So they just tied the game. They're on a 6-0 run. Game's tied at 73. Luka wants to completely shift the psychology of this game, and the easiest way to do that is to get a quick bucket, preferably a three, something that just sucks the life out of the arena and makes the other team feel like they're on the ropes, right? So Luka sees blood in the water. He's coming up the floor here. No one's matched up with him, so he starts to pick up his pace. Now, Kawhi's there, but because Luka's taking these super aggressive downhill steps, watch Kawhi. I'm going to move it into slow motion here. Watch Kawhi take a backward step. Boom, right there. That's all that Luka needed to get the separation for his step back against one of the best perimeter defenders in the world. You could just tell on the release of that one that it was perfect coming out of his hand. Now he's talking shit. Now Luka has completely fundamentally changed the psychology of this basketball game. All right, let's get another wedge screen in here. So we're going to get the pass to Kyrie. Here comes the wedge screen. This time from Kleber, gets the switch, comes through to the other side of the floor. And again, that one didn't look as much like a wedge screen as the others. Because the Mavs know the switch is coming, it's more just targeting a matchup. But the fundamental action on the first 2 times they ran it is a wedge screen. Now, Luka's attacking Harden in the post. Russell Westbrook doubles 1 pass away off of a really, really good player. And Kyrie Irving knocks down the huge 3 off of the kick-out pass. Again, if you're going to double 1 pass away, you got to have a windshield wiper rotation. What that means is, let me go back here for a second. So what that means is, as Russ prepares to double, especially with Kleber and PJ Washington, these are lesser shooters on this side. Kawhi has to be immediately up and ready to rotate to Kyrie. If you're going to double 1 pass away, Kawhi has to windshield wiper with them, meaning both of them have to make the rotation at the exact same time. All right, this is Luka getting another stop against Kawhi on an island. So kick pass there. We're going to get another Harden screen to get a switch. Now watch Luka contain the Kawhi drive. Watch him just sliding his feet, beating him to spots, and cutting off driving angles. See, cut off the drive, spin back baseline, beat him to the spot, wall up, don't foul. Now at this point, Kawhi's screwed. There's not enough time on the clock to do anything. He's going to have to rise up for an incredibly difficult shot. Luka gets a great contest. Really, really good individual defense from Luka. Now, the Clippers make an adjustment. My guess here is they didn't want to give up any more switches, so they put Russ on Luka. Russ is always really good at defending bigger post players. You might remember last year in the postseason, Russ doing a bunch of damage as a post defender against the Suns, if you guys remember. But it also, Russ is just so strong and low center of gravity. He's really difficult to screen. So my guess is they were just trying to avoid any sort of switch here. So instead of trying to get a switch, Luka just takes Russ to the post, and Russ kind of denies. He fronts the post, right? So now there's only 8 seconds on the shot clock. So this possession is kind of dead. But Kyrie Irving is capable of making a play off the dribble to rescue possession. 4 seconds left. Drives down on Paul George, kind of fakes like he's going to spin back, and then goes back over his left shoulder with that nasty little floating hook. Now, Luka talked after the game. I thought this was really fascinating. Luka talked after the game about how he did not want that he went to Jason Kidd and told him he didn't want a double team because he trusts his defense. Here's a great example. Paul George gets Luka on a switch. Paul George tries to drive past Luka. Luka beats him to the spot and cuts him off. But the Mavs end up coming with a double team, which opens up this little opportunity to James Harden, who ends up swinging to Russ, who hits a 3. Now, again, in terms of game plan, you live with that because you want Russ taking 3s. But to Luka's credit and what he was saying after the game, he felt comfortable in that matchup on an island. Now, if you guys remember last night, I talked about over-aggression being an issue for the Clippers down the stretch. These next 2 buckets for the Mavs came out of pointless over-aggression. So here we go. We have Luka trying to post up Russ again, and Luka creates a little passing angle. And then again, if you're Russ, instead of going after this, just play solid defense. But he gambles, gets out of position. Luka gets downhill. Now all four other helping Clippers are lined up on him, and he's able to generate another wide open corner 3 for PJ Washington, who knocks it down. Now we're going to get Luka getting attacked on an island again by Paul George. Not going to slow this down or stop it. Just watch him. Cuts off the drive, forces a tough contested jumper. Literally, like, again, I talked a lot after game 1. Like, the hedge and recover was the schematic thing you can do, or he just needs to do a better job. And this is just him doing a better job on defense on an island. Look at him turning to his bench and hyping them up after he's getting these stops. Now, Paul George's turn to be over-aggressive. And again, I wish, so it's going to start with a double team of Kyrie Irving. But if you're the Clippers from a game plan perspective, you got to be less aggressive and actually force Luka to score here. But instead, he reaches, and when he reaches, he does get a hand on the ball. But Luka's able to regain control. Now Paul George is out of position. Once again, downhill, everyone keyed in on him. Wide open catch-and-shoot three for Maxi Kleber. Knocks it down. Huge shot making from PJ and Maxi late. Another huge defensive play from Maxi Kleber on Zubac here. Zubats. So PG drives. Maxi steps up and help. He's not over committing, but he's putting himself between Zubats and PG, right? Gets the drop-off pass. Now watch in slow motion. This one I am going to slow down. Watch the strip from Maxi here. Watch this. So he's in position. Watch the strip. Right as Zubac's going up, boom, knocks it loose. Huge defensive play from Maxi here down the stretch. And then lastly, we get our dagger. So Luka's got James Harden. We're just going to work it down. Clearing out, creating space. This was the shot that we all saw coming last night, right? This is one of Luka's favorite things to do, especially on the road in the postseason. He wants to snatch your soul with the shot. He wants to hit the dagger. He wants to talk a bunch of shit. He wants to let your crowd know about it. Here we go. I missed playoff Luka.